Good morning, writing warriors. Decided to get back on YouTube and create some videos for you all. Uh, as you may notice, I'm in a different location than I was when I used to do these. And Kitty Cat wanted to be a part of this today, apparently. So, um, but I wanted to create this video for you to go over some of the income stats that I've been reporting. Started reporting on it yesterday. Want to give a couple days into the month to have some actual stats to report to you and try to do it daily as much as possible. It's a little bit more of a deep dive than I've done before. I used to just report on statistics directly from Medium in terms of audience stats and earnings and things like that. Those will still be a part of these pieces, but I wanted to give you a full picture of where all the income sources were, including my writing for other platforms as well as my day job. So putting it all together in one package, just to give you the most transparent look that I can about what it's like to do this kind of work. So I have been putting some more time into Medium, kind of considering it like my season 2 of my time here. And so I wanted to go over today's numbers and sort of give you some more context about what's going on with them, because there's a little extra details that you should know. So total income from all sources for the month since December 1st, $513.93. Day job earnings, $296.40. I forgot to do the percentages. I can pull that up really quick here for you. Do it on the fly. Sorry for the clicking. It's going to be, so the day job is making up 57.6% of the income currently. That will fluctuate throughout the month as time goes on. It's going to be a more accurate picture as we get closer to the end of the month. We can see how much of the income is made up by writing, but currently 57.6%. All writing income is $217.53. That is 42.3%. It's the remainder, so of course. So writing on other platforms, $208.50 is 40% of the total, 40.5% of the total. That is also, just for context, 95.8% of the writing income. So, like say, my Medium earnings, both because I'm getting started again, almost like fresh, but also because it's just not that big a part of my writing world. It's just more of a hobby for me, more of something that is entertaining and that I use to try to inform and educate others. So it's just not a huge part of my income world. Obviously, we're all trying to build that, but for the moment, that's where that is. The Medium income this month so far, $9.03. Like say, getting started fresh from almost from the ground up, and so that is 4.1% of the writing income, or of the total, 1.75. So that's what I mean when I say, it's a small part of my world. It's less than 2%. Ironically, it's a decent percentage of the amount of hours I've spent. I'm currently at 20.4 hours worked across all sources, including the day job, and I believe it's about 2.5 hours into Medium, and that's not including this morning or what I'm doing today. So, it makes up something like right now, about 10% of my work time. It's probably going to grow as I continue to work on this. So, 10 to 20% of my input, and only outputting 1 or 2% of my income. So again, it's not a it's considered, I think of it as more of a hobby and something to build up. Now the last piece of the last three pieces of data real quick for you. Pending earnings dropped to $91.50. Reason being is I sold an article yesterday for $140. Awesome. There were actually a few more that sold, and I'll explain that in just a moment. Total hours worked for the month, 20.4. Again, that doesn't include this morning, so that number's, I can only report up to when I create these articles, and this morning happens to be about 4:30 in the morning my time. So, and then, so that makes the average hourly earnings across all income sources at $25.19 an hour. I had an alarm set. That is going to grow, hopefully. Obviously, as more content sells, that will grow. The writing income, especially on other platforms in particular, pulls that average up because the amount that I earn per hour, in at least theoretically, on other platforms is quite a bit higher. It's somewhere between 80, 90, $100 an hour. The reason I don't do that full time all the time, I did try to do that for a couple of years, but the AI crunch has sort of made it so competitive and difficult. It's just not as much low hanging fruit. Sorry, I have some coffee this morning. With my mug from Mount Rushmore, visited last year. Kind of an interesting little place. But anyway, you've got that is to say the average hourly earnings can be dragged up when more content sells. The day job obviously has a fixed hourly rate of pay and does consume most of my time. I mean, it's 8 hours a day, so it's a 40-hour-a-week kind of job. If you look at that in terms of the total hours worked so far this month, I've been there 16 hours because it was for Monday and Tuesday. Sunday, the first of the month was a Sunday, so obviously I wasn't at work. I don't work on the weekends. I don't ever have any overtime at that job either, so it's all just the 40 hours. But at 16 hours out of the total of 20.4, that's 78% of my time, 78.4%. So that hour, the average hourly earnings can only go so high because there's so many hours put in at that fixed rate. And I calculate that as a post-tax. I just go ahead and use the post-tax number because that's what I'm actually receiving in my bank account on the paycheck after the taxes are taken out. I don't even worry about what kind of refund could be coming my way at the end of the year or anything like that. That's just found money as far as I'm concerned. So I use the post-tax rate for the earnings, and as far as I do the opposite with the writing because that's calculated on a quarterly basis. It's just harder to do. So the writing is pre-tax, the day job is post-tax. It can be a little confusing, but it still gives you a general picture of what you're looking at there. So glad to see that the average hourly earnings rate across all income sources went up. I think yesterday I reported it was $19 and something an hour. This morning it's up to $25.19 an hour. I expect that to continue to increase. I don't have an exact projected target on what I'm looking for there or what I expect there. I guess I'd like to see 35. Could be higher. I don't know. It's first month, so let's just see what happens. But anyway, just wanted to put out a little video. Sorry for the mess behind me. Folks who followed my content and videos from before probably noticed it's in a totally different place. Wife and I moved this past summer, actually just about 6 months ago at this point. She graduated, and so work at a different job, and we moved. We're in the same city, but we're in a different part of town. So upgrade on the house, more space for the animals and for us, and so totally different little area. But I'm downstairs. We have a downstairs. That's one thing. We more floors, and I'm downstairs this morning behind closed door. She's still asleep behind a closed door, trying to keep quiet as best I can. It was very early in the morning here still, but anyway, I just want to give that update. Oh, one last thing. Glad if you've stuck around this long. Glad that you did. Because I want to explain, I did actually sell more than what's reflected on here in the content. The reason I didn't include it, I actually sold about almost $300 more, just under 300. Reason it's not included, because that would really boost the numbers for sure. But that content was actually written before December started, so I've had a kind of a backlog, a pipeline of content that I've been working on, and I didn't want to include that in these numbers because it's not reflective of what I've done in December. It's not reflective of the statistics I'm reporting here, and it would skew the numbers. I mean, I'm glad to have it. It definitely helps. It's going to come on next week's payment, but I didn't want to include it, but still, it makes for a good day. So you have the just under 300 plus the 140 that I am reporting. So yesterday in sales, about 440-ish, 430 in content sales. So that's been great. But like I say, I'll only try to include things that are from December itself. So I'm going to wrap this video up. I'm going to create the article, probably schedule to publish it later in the morning. Going to do a little interacting on the platform for a little bit, and then I'm going to dive into work on my other content platforms. But if you like the video, let me know. I'm going to probably continue to do these. I know they're just a static shot, no production value at all. It's just me talking, but I think some people have found them useful before. So, you know, not trying to build anything up on YouTube, just trying to add another layer to the content that I create here for you on Medium. So again, if you enjoy it, hope you get something from it. And of course, you can subscribe to my emails on Medium. That is the best and easiest way to support me. So hoping to see those numbers go up. And for this morning, December 4th, I'm going to call it a wrap. Hopefully we have as good of a day and good a report tomorrow. But for now, we'll see you later.